On this week's Nonsensible podcast,
You're like a walking zombie when you can't sleep. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do well. If I start thinking that, I'm like, stop, Ashley, don't think that. Just don't expect anything. Just go in there and just do it.
And his nappy is just tick, tock. It's going backwards and forwards.
Party right in my face and goes, teacher, that's bad luck.
This is Nonsensible.
Okay, Jamie, are we ready? 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
Yes, this is Nonsensible with myself, Sam. That was Saul.
Hey.
And we've got Ashley joining us again today.
Hi guys, it's Ash.
Ashley, a.k.a. Ash.
Yes, Ashley B. Choi.
Ashley B. Choi. What's the B stand for?
Oh, it's my Korean name, Pinna.
Binna.
Whoa, Bidna, that's cool.
Like the
Light.
shine of the light.
Yes, and my last name is Chebinna. Che, so it's like Chebinna, 최고로 빛나.
Oh,
Shiniest.
wow.
Your parents have high hopes.
The shiniest.
Shiniest.
Your parents really have put a lot of pressure on you from the day of birth almost.
Yeah.
That's your real, like, don't have a stage name, a Korean stage name?
That's Ashley. It's Ashley.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I used Ashley.
Ashley.
Are you the only Ashley?
Well, me and the buffet.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd heard it before. I know I've heard Ashley in Korean so
Very
many times.
famous chain buffet
Is
restaurant.
is it a restaurant or is it a / cafe?
It's just restaurant, buffet restaurant.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cube steak and shit if you pay an extra $3.
Extra $3 for the cube steak. Wow.
Wow, you sound like you've been there a lot.
I forget where, I think I was in Gangneung, and I think I went to the Ashley's in Gangneung recently.
Is that rain? Oh my goodness, it is raining cats and dogs.
Oh.
Yeah, in the middle of
Sucks.
monsoon season. It's interesting. Have you ever noticed while you live here in Korea, Koreans always talk about how they have 4 seasons in the year, but they tend to forget about monsoon season.
Oh, so it's
Actually 5.
It's actually 2, monsoon season and cold.
non-monsoon.
What about the hot weather?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
It's interesting because, like in Australia, it rains more often than not during the winter. We don't get summer rains like you get here.
But isn't it really cold in the winter then?
Not as cold as it gets here.
Oh,
Not in my hometown. It doesn't snow where I'm from.
lucky.
Yeah. You don't like the snow.
I like looking at it.
Yeah. It's when you have to clean it in front of your house, that's when it gets a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
I don't really like rain, but I love how it sounds.
Really?
Yes.
I love rain and I love the sound of it. Like so we've got blinds where we are now. Open those up and sit down and read a book.
It's very peaceful.
You have to know
Listening
how
to
to
the
read
rain?
to do that, Sam.
Well, you know how to count, so
you
you're
gotta be
halfway
literate
there.
to do that, Sam.
You know how to count. You're halfway there.
I can only count as high as Joe Rogan has taught me.
3.
2, 1, and then
Done.
0 is and
Done.
we're live.
Dear me. What's been happening in the world for you?
Yeah, like I said before, I'm just like working on some new music. It's been kind of weird for me because I've
Solo?
I'm doing solo stuff.
Wow.
Some of you guys might know I was in a group called Part Time Cooks. I still am in a group called Part Time Cooks, but my partner has gone back to America because it's just kind of a rough time to be a rapper in South Korea. So I've been working on music and some videos with Dave and. I just got an exercise machine on my roof, trying to get my soul on.
What kind of exercise machine do you have on your roof?
My boy.
Because I'm assuming it's outdoors.
Yeah, and now it's outside, but I mean it's like a really nice one. My buddy.
So it's not like a running machine or a stair
no,
machine.
it's got like everything. It's got like deadlift, bench press.
Ah.
I'm trying to get fit like you, man.
Yeah. You're going backwards if you're trying to get fit like
We're
me.
both dieting, and Diane puts booby traps over here.
No, sorry. I bought coffee and the woman at the coffee shop gave it to me.
Y'all knew this was my favorite ice cream, and now you turned it into a candy bar.
I know. Crunky with Tweety Bar. This is like, they're doing some crazy stuff here these days.
And look how cute that pig
I'm
is.
trying to guess right now.
Oh, what are they selling?
Feature on this podcast right now.
The first time I ever heard that was like my first morning waking up in Korea in Yongin, and I heard that and I was like, damn, North Korea is attacking, because I didn't know any Korean words. I'm sure they were just being,
Explain to the audience
I don't know.
They're just these big blue trucks that like people go around with loudspeakers that have recordings saying like, "Computer, we're selling computers.
yes.
Apple's also on sale."
No. They're with the computers is when they're buying
Yeah.
secondhand
Yeah.
computers, or they're selling apples, or what else do they sell?
Watermelon.
Onions. Yeah, watermelon, like
sell
fruit and
everything.
vegetables, essentially.
But it sounds kind of aggressive the first time you hear it.
It does.
Initially, I thought the guy had a really nice, stereo set up in the car, and I thought he had a microphone. I didn't realize it was all pre-recorded. But yeah, it can get a little intimidating, especially if you're not an early bird. Because if they come around in the morning and you're still in bed, and all of a sudden you hear this, computer, aircon, setaki. It's almost like when you go to a what do you call it, an auction.
Yeah.
Can I take 3,000 grand, once grand, twice grand, 3 times sold?
Yeah.
It's just the way they project their voice, but then they've got a speaker on top of the car.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen some of them that they've got like these, I don't even know what you call them. They're like those old air raid sirens that you see in movies from the 50s and 60s, both projecting to the front and behind the vehicle.
Yeah.
There's something about...
That's why I thought it was like North Korea.
Like,
The sound speaker sounded way too
It wasn't modern
70s
enough.
communism. Like,
It was analog. It's playing in... It's not digital, obviously.
yeah.
Wow. It's some of these small things about living in a country like Korea, though, like initially, it was like, ooh, I don't get it, but it grows on you.
Yeah. I want to sell my computer to that motherfucker.
You know the thing at the moment that's really got me, have you seen the women that drive around in those refrigerated go-karts and they sell like milk and yogurt out of them?
Oh my gosh, yes. I saw them for the first time. They upgraded it.
Yeah, they
didn't
used to
have that.
It used to be like a shoulder bag that
Those
they carry
women, those
around.
women can make money too, apparently.
Really?
I want my girlfriend to do it. Because she's bad, right? Imagine if like
Is that moving up in the world for her? I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I bet she could make a killing on selling yogurt.
It's interesting. Some of the depending on how bad she is, like if you like kind of slide up in front of school before school's off,
Yeah.
you've got a market there that they're not escaping. They have to come by you, and you know if you can sell them some yogurt or some milk.
I used to bring a lot of like rappers from America here to perform with us. Like I'm from North Carolina, so I would like try to bring over North Carolina rappers. And my homie Jay Gunn brought like 3 of his friends with him, like manager, another manager, a camera guy, and they all stayed at my house. And they were all so stoked to be here. It was so fun. But one of those women drove by on the cart, and one of the dudes is like a serious hustler. Like he's always thinking about like ways to make money. And like she just goes by in slow motion, and everyone's quiet for a second. It's like, and he just goes, "Man, they should not have let me see that shit. I'm taking that back to Durham. I'm be selling T-shirts on that thing."
As soon as I saw that, the first thing I'm thinking is if you stack that with beer,
Yeah.
like down by a beach.
Like the Makgeolli man in Hongdae.
Yeah, because it's refrigerated, cold beer, you go down to the beach during the summertime, you could make a killing.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe I should tell my girlfriend to do that.
That's the way for her to make money
Sell those
for
like
sure.
cocktails in a bag.
Oh, even better. That's moving up. You could expect, it's like, a bar with wheels.
Yeah.
I like it.
People might not know that overseas, but like you can walk around with drinks in Korea. I don't know if you're like technically allowed to, but no one gets in trouble. No one gets in trouble for it. So you could buy a cocktail in a bag.
I think-
buy a baddie driving by on a yogurt.
I think you
truck.
still can. I think you can drink in public. Like, I don't think it's something you're getting arrested for. Because your convenience store, you can sit in front of the convenience store at the tables and chairs there and get drunk.
Which we take for granted now, but people who come visit
In Australia,
think
that's,
it's crazy.
drinking in public is completely illegal.
Well, because you guys would act like animals.
We are animals. That would be us moving up in the
Yeah,
world.
I'll be fighting kangaroos outside of the
Hey.
7-Eleven.
Oh, yeah. The kangaroos would be getting drunk. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let's move on to tell us about who would like to dip their hand into the jar.
I don't think I've ever done it.
It has been sanitized. Your hand as well.
Can I read it?
Well, if you can read it,
3,
please do.
2, 1, and we're live. What is this? I know that the circle one makes an oh sound.
No.
JK, I can read y'all. Tell us about the hardest time you've ever laughed, or just the time you recall laughing really, really, really hard.
Have you ever experienced a time where you've laughed so much that you've wet your pants?
Yeah,
No.
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
You
When
have?
I was like 6.
Ah, yeah. What happened?
Does that count?
What was so funny?
Well,
It does, but I was thinking like later in life.
I
Okay.
don't think so.
I've publicly admitted on television I've wet my pants as an adult before. I
From
admitted that to my
laughing?
child. Not necessarily just from laughing. It's more than once. Yeah, more than once. One of them was I'd had too much to drink and I didn't get to the toilet in time. And it wasn't actually in my house. It was in my friend's house in his bedroom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was not pleasant. But from laughing, I have, wet myself from laughing before. I can't remember what the situation was, but I got myself in such a place that I had to actually hit my head on the table to try and stop myself from laughing. Like I could physically not control myself. I had lost complete control.
What was so funny?
I can't remember what it was. It was I remember it happening at school.
Oh, those are the worst because you
Yeah.
have to keep a straight face
It's
and
when
you're
you're not
not allowed
supposed
to
to.
laugh. That's when you can't hold it in.
Yeah, but when you can no longer control your bodily functions because something has been so funny.
Apparently I've heard that there's like laugh therapy because that's really like the craziest laughing ever, right? Is when somebody's laughing and it makes you laugh and
Yeah.
it causes
When it's
this, like, chain reaction.
contagious.
And there's like laughing therapy where you like go down and you like lay on your back in a room with a bunch of other like 45-year-old people who are like really scared about dying and stuff. And you lay on your back and the instructor just starts laughing and then one other person starts laughing and by the end of it, it just like sounds like a bunch of hyenas.
They have such a thing?
That's right.
There are people that's their job.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's real?
Yeah.
I just thought it might have not even been real. I just heard.
No. There's even a guy here in Korea who does like classes and gets people to come in and just laugh. And he said it was his job. I didn't see any certification on the wall, but we have to assume that what he said was true.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't, as I got older in life, laughter is something I've kind of lost the art form of. I don't laugh as much as I used to.
I think me too. Like I will, like my favorite stand-up comedians don't make me laugh anymore. Even though I still love watching them, I rarely laugh. I laugh out loud maybe like once or twice. Whereas when I think one of the hardest I ever laughed was the first time I saw a Dave Chappelle special, right? Like I would cry laughing at that in high school. But yeah, you're right. Nowadays I don't really laugh like that.
Even watching films, comedy films, I used to laugh quite a lot. These days, maybe as you get older, you kind of see what's coming. The most recent thing that really made me laugh, though, was when my oldest boy, William, was still in nappies. And we had one of those jumping castles in the house, and he got a hose while I'd left the room. He'd got a hose and connected it to it was connected to the tap, and he turned the water on so he could have water at the bottom of the slide. Uh-huh. And so he'd taken all his clothes off and he'd only had his nappies on. And he kept going down the slide into the water. And I'm not sure if you're aware, there are two types of nappies for children. There are nappies that they go swimming in, and then there's just regular nappies. Uh-huh. The ones they go swimming in don't tend to soak up all the water. Uh-huh. The regular ones just boom. Yeah. It's like, you've seen those movies where someone just instantaneously, boom, goes like that, and they just like a bee stung them and they just like, boom, swell up like that. Mm-hmm. His nappy just went boom like that. But it got so heavy that it started falling down. But he was just having so much fun. He's just like dancing and doing this whole thing. And his nappy is just, it's like one of those clocks that tick, tock. It's going backwards and forwards. And I'm just standing there watching this kid have the time of his life with this nappy, and you see it slowly falling off his ass. I'm just, pure innocence, and he has no idea what's going on. And kids just make you, they have that special level of humor that because they haven't done it intentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that for me, like I just laugh like a cartoon character. Like I've got this really bad laugh, and when it comes out, it's
Oh, what is it?
like this, and it just had me going. I was just off like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I like it. When I first came to Korea, like my very first year, I was a full-time teacher, and I was teaching like these little kids how to, like what good and bad luck was. And so like I would hide like money around the classroom, like little Obeg ones and stuff like that. And whenever they would find it, I would be like, oh, that's really good luck. That's good luck. Or, you know, if something bad happened, I would say that's bad luck, whatever. And one day I was sitting on like a little, you know, like a kindergarten chair. So like my face was like butt level with all of these little kids. You talking about your son made me think about this. And all of a sudden I just get like, I had hair back then. Now I'm Daemori, but back then I didn't have any hair and I got like blasted with this fart, like right in my face that like made my comb over shoot to the right. And I like looked over and this little homie's butt was like right in my face. And he had farted right in my face and goes, teacher, that's bad luck. And I thought it was so dope.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I thought,
That reminds me of my son William. Like he'll like squeeze one out like intentionally, and like it's not just it just comes out naturally. Like he forces them out.
yeah. Wouldn't you? They're hilarious when you're that age.
It's like he sneaks up on you and he's like, "Dad, check this out!" Boom, and he lets it rip. But seriously, some days I think he's going to pop a vein in his head.
Yeah.
Like he just
You look like it. You look like
he does that, and it's like, dude, seriously, just relax. It's not, you know, if you don't squeeze out a fart, it's not the end of the world.
Let it come to you.
I'm worried that he's going to do it one day and he's going to poo his pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the time I laughed, like I peed my pants from laughing.
Well, you can do that. Or if you have another story you'd rather.
Oh, she was
talk
like,
about.
you were like 6 though. It could have just
Yeah.
been a
Yeah.
fart.
It probably was a fart.
No, it was the playground, guys. Remember when we used to actually play at the playground?
Yeah.
It was like
I
it
forgot
was-
about that.
Yeah, it was one of those things that went around, and it just went by. It just went around so quickly, and I was dizzy, and I was with my friends, and I couldn't stop laughing, and I just peed my pants. Yeah, yes, and I.
So,
It's like your first
Was it-
out of body experience when you're little. It's like spinning.
did you pee your pants because it was funny or because you were dizzy?
Because it was funny. It was fun. So I was laughing my butt off, and then I peed. But then thank God I lived right in front, so I just ran home.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were at the school playground, you probably would have never lived that one down.
Yo, I got away with it. I peed my pants when I was like 11. I had a girlfriend.
Hang on, I don't
and
know what's
peed my
more
pants at
surprising,
school.
the fact that you had a girlfriend at the age of 11 or the
Yeah.
fact that you peed your pants at 11?
Yeah, I went to
can't-
Catholic
I
school.
can't talk.
Catholic school is wild, you know, like.
Catholic school having
Yeah.
girlfriends at 11 is normal?
I think I was tongue kissing when I was 11.
What?
The last year I peed my pants
I'm
was
sorry.
the first year I French kissed someone.
Okay, I've never heard anyone call it tongue kissing to begin
Ew.
with.
I was trying to make it sound gross.
At 11?
I was trying to, you know.
Trying to make it sound more mature?
Yeah.
I was tongue kissing.
I was trying to make it sound nasty.
Yeah.
Trying to put the image in your face
It
of an
was-
11-year-old
yeah.
boy going like this, who doesn't know what he's doing with his tongue.
Ah.
And then peeing his pants.
Wait, what grade is 11 years
Like
old?
5th, I think.
Wow. So you're almost like adolescent. You're almost to teenage years.
Yeah. I don't know why I always pee. You know why I used to pee my pants though at school? It's because I would always fake like I had to go to the bathroom so I could kiss
I
my
got it.
girlfriend at the water fountain. And so they didn't believe me when I really had to go to the bathroom. So I'd be like in SSR, silent sustained reading. It's like, Miss Bukowski or whatever my teacher's name was. Can I please go to the bathroom? And they wouldn't allow me to go because they thought I was just
You like
trying
the-
to go kiss
The boy who cried wolf.
Samantha.
You don't even remember her name?
I know, I'm just kidding. I'm just not putting people on blast.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm
That's
sure
why I
there's
called
like
my other guy Buddy for peeing on the bookshelf.
There's like a million Samanthas in the world. It's
Yeah.
not like, yeah.
That's why I said Samantha.
Okay.
Samantha's my go-to when I'm keeping someone's identity secret.
Is that right? That's your female secret identity, Samantha.
Samantha, and then I'll go with Sam for the next time.
Okay. I like it. What about more recently?
More recently, I mean, I laugh a lot, and it's all because of my friends. Like, I just have hilarious friends, and I think, thank God, like, I still laugh a lot. But when I watch like funny movies or even like sitcoms, the most I'll go is,
Yeah, you don't LOL anymore.
Yeah.
What happened to LOL?
Yeah, well, but I thought it was just me.
No.
I thought that was me. Like sitcoms and films, it's not like a laugh out loud anymore. Like, I don't know if it was because I was getting older or I was just more serious in general. But if you're 28 and you're not laughing out loud, that kind of, is this a cultural thing?
She is laughing out loud.
not at like shows.
Not
Oh,
at
not a
sitcoms,
TV show.
TV.
Yeah, I think as you get older, you get colder. Shit's real out here.
Or maybe
Was that one of your rhymes? As you get older, you get
That's a
colder?
freestyle. I don't know why, but this episode I'm doing a lot of looking at the camera. Colder.
You're making love to the camera with your eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that is.
I think our standards just got higher.
Yeah.
No? When I was younger, I would watch like Gag Concert, you know, which was so hot at that time, and I would just like me and my family would all just laugh our asses off. But now it's just like it's not funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why that show doesn't exist anymore.
It just takes a lot more to be impressed. You've seen it all.
Well, I
like
think,
we're saying,
yeah.
a fart is hilarious.
Even
you're
now,
younger.
oh yeah,
But
when you're
still,
younger.
And they're still pretty
even
funny.
now, they're pretty funny. It's right time, right place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't really change. But I guess, yeah, maybe our standards have gone up.
Maybe we're onto something. The reason that farts are still funny is because that's the time we're being honest about what's truly comical in today's world, and it's air passing through an anus.
At the end of the day, a lot of what we are seeing and hearing on television is just hot air anyway.
Yeah. Whoa! It's got bars today.
Yeah.
Hot air.
Moving along, today's topic, stress. It is ever present and can come from anywhere, relationships, work, or just some asshole walking incredibly slow on a crowded street, especially when they're walking like next to each other, 3 or 4 of them, and
when
blocking
there's
the footpath,
umbrellas. And the umbrellas make it even harder. You
poking
can't-
your eye out. And how has the source of stress... How is source of stress and how do we each deal with it changed? How has it changed over time? Are there things you wish you knew when you were younger that could have put things into perspective? I mean, everyone deals with stress. Stress is something we can't deny it exists. And I think, everyone in this room will deal with it in their own special way.
Which is crazy to me that you're not drinking anymore.
Well, that used to be a thing for me, was stress. Drinking would be a stress relief. But then I realized that it's only short term. The next day you wake up, that stress still exists.
Or even more, or even amplified.
Yeah. And you have a hangover to go with it. So it hasn't done it. You've got the stress of a hangover now.
Yeah.
That for me was probably the worst solution to stress. But a lot of people still do self-medicate with alcohol.
Yeah.
It's just the easiest way to do it. I find sleep works better personally.
Yeah, sleep's important.
Yeah.
Do you sleep a lot?
I sleep between about 11 till 6:30 most nights.
You wake up every day at 6:30. This guy's like Dwayne
Because
The Rock
of your
Johnson.
baby,
That's-
or because of just
It's just become. It initially was the kids, but it's become habitual now. Wow. Yeah.
That's great. When I get when I drink beers and I get inspired to be like one of these workaholic guys like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I sometimes tell myself that I'm going to start doing that, like waking up at the crack of dawn and hitting the gym. And I wrote on the back of my door, Dwayne The Rock Johnson doesn't sleep. Because I was scrolling through Instagram and just saw what he and Kevin Hart do before I've even thought about waking up. And it's really impressive.
It makes you wonder how people do that. Like, do they sleep 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day?
Yeah.
I mean, that is impossible that for me would be stressful.
Yeah.
I need 6-7 hours sleep a day.
and I don't even think that's good for your health. No?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not at all. I'm sure Ashley slept when Ladies Code was at their busiest. You were probably sleeping a lot less than 7 or 8 hours a day.
Yeah, I didn't really have that much trouble sleeping, but then when we were really busy, we would have to literally, we would come home from a schedule, just close our eyes for an hour, go back out, sleep in the car, take little breaks here and there. And yeah, that you're like a walking zombie when you can't sleep. And especially, it's not like you're not doing anything. You have to be in front of the camera. You have to sing and dance. And it's just like, when you get
gotta be
home, you
on.
just faint.
That's stressful.
But it's like even more stressful because it's not like constant busyness. It's like you'll be busy for like a month and then you'll just be like a bum for like how many more months? And then it gets busy again. So it's like, it's just like mentally draining. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather just be a little busy, like constantly, but it's still like all at once. And then you're like, you don't have any work and then all at once.
It's wild because like that here in Korea, people can do that and work like that without doing, like when you hear about people working like
And
that
drink-
in America.
and drink on top of
you
that.
just assume that they're like partying and like keeping themselves awake with like, you know what I mean? But in Korea, people just like do that shit with regular calories.
Well, you look at people here and they work long hours, then they go out and drink, and then they get home late, and then they're waking up early the next morning and doing it all over
Yeah,
again.
Maybe
That
it's
impresses
condition.
me.
Maybe it really is just condition. Those little drinks. You guys get on those jobs.
I couldn't. I have done it before, but the older you get, the more difficult it gets. And stress these days for me is, I find it being small things. Anything that relates to my children is absolutely stressful.
Really?
Yeah, if it's, anything that, even if it's going to the hospital and they're like, the doctor says we need to do this, and you're like, I don't know if I agree with that. Like, you get stressed out over just the smallest things with kids.
Because you could be in trouble if you don't make the right decisions when it comes to your kids, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the doctor gives you, they may give you two choices, and they're like, but we think you should do this one, and that's not the choice that you want. All of a sudden you're like, but that could scar them for life if we don't sew it up, if we put staples in instead. But stress, I think you just have to learn to, for me, I've learned to try and control it and just live with it to some extent. You can't eliminate it.
No, you can't.
Even going on holiday is stressful. You travel 10 hours on an airplane and you're like, okay, we're here in Australia for 2 weeks. And then it's like 2 weeks of running around and seeing friends and family that you haven't seen for 2 years. It's not restful. You're driving every day for 2 or 3 hours at a time. And you get back on the plane and you arrive in Korea again and you're exhausted. You're like, I was just on holiday for 2 weeks.
That was supposed to be a vacation.
Yeah, that was not, I need a vacation from my vacation.
Yeah. But one thing that I realized growing up is that most of the things that I used to stress about never happened, I think I read that on like a things you learn as you turn 70 or 60 or 50 or 40, you know what I mean? Most of the things that you are worrying about are never going to
Are you a
happen.
worrywart too?
I think I used to be, but ever since I've started thinking about that, I realized it generally is true. I mean, real anxiety seems to be like your body telling you, like, you're not headed in the right direction. So I mean, I don't necessarily like ignore anxiety. Like, I try to think about like what it is that's making me stressed. But I also, at the same time, like, I try not to let it get out of hand, because I realize, like what we're saying, like, there's a difference between like distress and eustress. And there's like the positive stress that can make you perform better,
Yeah.
So just try to take that like anxiety or stress, and we're lucky that these days like there are people that are talking about this, right?
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned worrywart. You're a worrywart?
Yeah, I get it from my mom because she's like the type of person, if me and my brother are out, she won't be able to sleep until we get home because she's scared that something might happen to us.
Wow.
And I'm kind of like that too. I think I get it from her, and I just imagine the worst case scenario in terms of everything before it even happens. So I drive myself crazy and I stress myself out so much about that.
And there's like an evolutionary purpose for that, right? Like, you have to be prepared for like predators. For real.
For the wild coyotes of the Sahara.
It's like, well, if I don't put
streets
the
of
fire
Korea.
out by dawn.
I think, a lot of us have definitely gone through that stage, and my mother was the same. But then the flip side is, if you're too positive, your expectations are always so high.
Yeah.
And if you don't attain those expectations, you start regretting everything. You have glass half empty, glass half full. I think just trying to find that fine line in the middle and try and ride that with everything is probably just the safest way to go. As soon as you start veering too far in one direction, it kind of, there's a negative turn that you're taking.
Yeah.
But getting anxiety out of your life is always a good thing. Like too much anxiety, it just I find even in terms of performing, all of a sudden you're like, what if I do this, or what happens if this goes wrong? Mm-hmm. But until you've actually done it, you're just stressing yourself out. It becomes so psychological.
It's when it begins to like affect your performance negatively that you've let it take control.
Yeah.
And it's like listening to whatever your conscience is telling you is going wrong. There's a reason for that, but don't let it bring you down, right?
Yeah, but you can't be too confident at the same time. Mm-hmm. If you get on stage and you're cocky and confident, chances are you're going to make more mistakes then. I think if you use that anxiety and positively, because that also shows that you're concerned.
Yeah.
You want to put your best effort out there. You want to, in terms of the audience being there, you don't want to screw up. Mm-hmm. That's why a lot of people get anxious, and it's just using that anxiety and using it as positive energy.
Did you get stage fright before you would perform?
Oh, yeah.
Because you probably performed in front of a lot of people, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of stage fright, especially because I wasn't the most confident in myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But then now I think I try to just not have any expectations. And in my head, if I'm like, okay, I'm going to do well, if I start thinking that, I'm like, stop, Ashley, don't think that. Just don't expect anything. Just go in there and just do it. So, yeah, I think that's a lot easier than just like, oh my God, what if I mess up? Or like, oh, I'm going to do well. Mm-hmm. It's like right in the middle.
I think everyone gets stage fright.
But everyone always says that, like, if you don't get stage fright, it means that you, like, don't care anymore. But, like, I don't.
You don't get stage fright at all.
I was just thinking about how, like, working with you, like, but it's an honor to work with you. You as well. So, but, like, I was just thinking about the fact that I'm not nervous about this at all. And honestly, like, it's a big thing to be doing a podcast with you, right?
This for me is different from stage fright.
But I'm saying the same with like my concerts and everything. Like the biggest shows I've ever done, all I am is like excited all the time. I think it was because my very first show was like my best show I've ever done. Oh. And ever since I was nervous as hell.
Ever since then, it's just gone downhill.
Or I'm just like, I'm going to kill this. I know I'm going to be okay. Wow. And maybe but that also might be like me. It's like a defense mechanism for myself because if I ever actually do feel like I fuck up, which I probably do often, I might actually like put me into and like make me really scared to perform. So it might be me just like that's like like a guard that I keep up where I don't admit that I'm worried or that I make mistakes on stage ever.
So
I get horrible stage fright. I need like
crazy,
10, 15 minutes to warm up. Like,
do you ever do you use like beta blockers or any of that kind of stuff?
I just go in there raw, and like after about 5 or 10 minutes, I kind of relax. But it's just that initial stage, and stage fright for me is. I used to hate getting up on stage and performing.
Wow, really?
It used to scare me to death, and like I couldn't even look at the audience. Like I'd be looking up here at the lights.
That's what my dad told me to do growing up. He said like look at people's
the
top of their heads because then they can't see it. Did they teach you to do that to you?
Not really. Why didn't they teach me that?
Yeah. Don't look at people in the eyes. Look at the top of their heads.
Did they tell you to pretend everyone was in the nude?
No.
They didn't tell you that either?
No.
What are y'all K-pop? What are you doing?
Really? This should be lesson 101 in K-pop. All right. Well, that is it today for us here at Nonsensible. I want to thank Ashley for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
I want to thank Saul for coming in again as well. If there's anything you'd like to give a shout out or plug, now's the time to do it.
I just had so much fun listening to you two's stories. I felt like I was just here listening. And I also am on another podcast with Peniel and BM. So please go listen to Get Real and please leave good reviews for Nonsensible as well.
Gotta love that. I just want to say I love your hair, this color, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
She also has an adulting series on her YouTube channel.
And adulting.
Cool.
Yes, I've also been doing the adulting series on YouTube because I'm just like, starting adulthood now that I'm done with the contract, dealing with all like the housing stuff and the bills. So I've just kind of been documenting that through my YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Give it a plug. What's the name?
Ashley Choi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done an episode on tax? Because tax time's coming up.
No, I still have no idea.
Go and get yourself an accountant because otherwise it gets too difficult.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I recommend.
Oh my
Absolutely. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to Nonsensible on Apple Podcasts. Also, you can find us on Instagram, Dive Studios, and also on YouTube as well. And like Ashley said, leave us a review. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, and hope to catch up with you all again next week.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed the clip. If you did, listen to the full episode on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
And make sure to subscribe to this channel, Dive Studios, and put those notifications on. Hit that bell. Whoop, whoop, whoop.